Hello everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In today's MTPredictor video, I'd like to look at some profits and losses, and in particular have a look at how to use the higher time frame charts on the BankNifty, which is one of our Indian markets we follow. But first, let's start with our risk disclaimer and remind you that all examples in these videos should be considered as hypothetical. No trades were taken, they're shown for illustration and trading purposes only. Remind you there's a risk of loss in trading and investing. We'll be looking at some losses and remind you that all professional traders know, understand, and more importantly accept that losses can and will and do happen. The trick is keeping those losses small. All trade decisions are your own sole responsibility. Right, let's now come on to a 3-minute chart of the BankNifty, which is for today, June the 16th, and you can see we had some trades here. If you were just following our MTP trend color-coded indicator, which is blue for up and grey for flat and red for down, you'd have had 3 losing trades here. Can you see on our chart there's some history triangles here? So if I right mouse click over the blue buy bar, you can see that trade would have been filled and then stopped out. That would have been a -1 hour loss. Remember, we use correct position sizing to keep your losses small and under control. There then would have been another trade here which had just been taken in, stopped out, a -2R, and then the last one would have been again a -1 hour loss, so making -3R overall. If you then have a look at this TS2 sell, which is now in the direction of the MTP red trend, let's place the analysis on here. This would have been a plus 3.7R profit. You can see it would have been taken in short, the market went down, hit the profit target for plus 3.7R. So this was a very good example of how position sizing helps you by keeping your losses small and your profits large. In this example, even though you had 3 losing trades and only 1 profit, the profit was almost 4 times greater than the losses, 3.7 times. So -1, -1, -1 plus 3.7 equals 0.7 profit overall. So it would have been a profitable day overall. So a good example of position sizing in use there. I'll go on in a minute to put the higher time frame analysis on and show you how you could have then enhanced the trading even more there. If we go back to the previous day, here there would have been some good trades. There would have been a TS3 sell. It's a pity that was against a blue MTP trend, and there would have been a and then a nice VS buy here at the low of the day. You can see that was on a black MTP trend, so it would have been a good one to take. If we right mouse click, do our analysis, you can see that caught the very low of the day and the market went up into the close. So you'd have been stopped out there for a plus 2.5R profit. So that would have been very, very good indeed. Let's now look at this with a more advanced eye and go out to the higher time frame chart. A higher time frame is between 3 and 5 time frames higher. So if you're trading a 3-minute chart like this, you'd go out to the 15-minute chart. If you're trading daily, you go out to the weekly. If you're trading, say, 15-minute Forex, you'd go out to the hourly. So for this, you place your DPs on from prior swing highs or lows. Let's have a look at yesterday to start with. And if you go back to the previous day, there was a DP or there was a pivot high there. So if you place the DP off that high, you can see you got a DP resistance area in this particular area here. And if we now go back down to the 3-minute chart, can you see now how the high earlier in the day today would have been at 15-minute resistance. So although the MTP trend was still grey or black, showing you were in an area of where a potential reversal was likely to happen, because you were right at this 15-minute resistance area, the more likely thing to happen was the trend to reverse, i.e. the market to roll over, and as such you probably want to be avoiding buy setups. In other words, the large degree trend was in a process of reversing to then be down, so it's probably better avoiding these buy setups while still taking this TS2 sell setup here. So in this way, for today, which is June the 16th, the higher time frame DP resistance would have helped you avoid these 3 losing buy setups while still allowing you to take that profitable sell setup there. If we now go back to the previous day, just do the 15-minute, I'll just clear everything off. Can you see here how the market was in a downtrend here? If we right mouse click here and do DP, this would have been our support area. Remember, this would have been on the chart in advance. This would have been on the chart even before June the 14th even opened. So as the market was moving down, it hadn't reached support yet until the lows here. If we now go down to the 3-minute chart, let's see what this higher time frame support would have looked like. If we scroll back, can you see now how first of all, this VS buy setup was an excellent one to take because it was at our 15-minute support zone. Notice how this 15-minute support zone nailed the low of the day for you, but also see how this TS3 sell was now in the direction of the trend going down because it hadn't reached this 15-minute support zone yet. So if you're a more experienced user, you may well have liked this TS3 sell setup. If you had and then taken it, that would have been a plus 11R profit, so it would have been an absolutely massive profit. Notice how its profit target would have been at this 15-minute support zone, so it would have been a good one to take as well. If we clear everything off, the decline down to the low there, if I right mouse click, do Elliott wave intermediate, was also a 5-wave sequence going down there as well. So this is a good example of how the higher time frame support and resistance areas can not only help you, as we've seen there earlier on, to avoid some buy setups and then confirm the large trend for help with your confidence in our MTP trend color coded indicator. Also give you added confidence when the MTP trend indicator is in sync with your higher time frame support and resistance, as with this VS sell, and then perhaps for the more experienced users among you, be able to override the MTP trend when you get a clear example like this where the market, you can see here the market was going down and hadn't reached its support zone yet, and as such was a trade that the more experienced users among you could potentially take. But either way, hopefully this has been a good example to show how we look at keeping our losses small. So if you were taking just the MTP trend, how these losses were kept small at just -1R, and then the profits were much bigger than that, and that's what allowed you to make profit overall. But for the more experienced users, once you start adding on the higher time frame DP support and resistance areas, how it can allow you to have added confidence in the large degree trend, which will help you in your decision on the large degree trend and help you in deciding which trade setups to take and which ones to avoid.